Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Tokyo. My name is T. So back at it again with another discussion. I want to talk to you guys today about something that's been bothering me for a little bit. This is something that has come up on forums and comes up in videos, and it's just something that has been kind of stuck in my gullet for a while, so let's talk about it. So one thing that kind of bothers me, I've been seeing this a lot in forums and other places recently, is the fact that people are really bothered about where yo-yos are made. So there's a lot of countries where yo-yo companies exist. You've got Canada, America, Japan, China, Indonesia, India, all kinds of places where companies exist. The biggest three countries where companies exist now are probably America, China, and Japan. But anyway, when a company starts moving its stuff to China, or when Chinese companies make yo-yos and they call it premium, people tend to get kind of upset, like, oh, it's made in China, so that kind of is like demeans the quality or whatever. And I actually really disagree with that. It's sort of this idea that, like, if it's a foreign company, or especially if it's like a company that's in China, that they're somehow making things that are worse. And that kind of bugs me, actually. Especially now when you have like Magic Yo-Yo, you've got Top Yo, you've got Yo-Yo Empire. I love those guys. And they're changing the game, which is like really amazing. You've got all these plastics that are coming out that are super good. The Skyva completely reinvented the landscape of yo-yo for the last few years. Everything has to have a finger spin dimple now because of the Skyva. Yo-Yo Empire is making some like really crazy stuff that just, it comes out of nowhere. The designs are just like really off the wall, but they're super awesome. They kind of like took the yo-yo jam thing of making all these hybrid yo-yos and just made a ton of really cool stuff out of it. And Top Yo, they're coming out with awesome stuff. I recently reviewed the Mojo over on Yo-Yo Store Rewind's channel. That's an awesome yo-yo. Like, all these Chinese companies are coming out with really, really cool, innovative, neat products. But there's always the thing of like, oh, well, it's made in China though. It's like, for me, it's like, so what? I don't really think that where something is made matters as much as it used to. And I could be wrong, like, I'm not an expert on manufacturing, but as far as I'm concerned, if something is made in China, China's become such a competitive market in so many fields now. I don't think that idea that people really used to get behind, that like, oh, made in China, made in Taiwan, at least for me, it doesn't make sense to complain about that, especially in the yo-yo space. All these Chinese companies are coming out with such unique and interesting stuff, and to just discount their stuff just because of where it's made seems unfortunate to me. Now, at the same time, you have companies who are situated in other countries outside of China, like in the States or Canada or whatever. And just because you're in America doesn't mean you're immune to problems. Like, I know I've seen a lot of people complaining about yo-yos that are designed in America that have had a lot of quality control issues or vibration or other things that people really don't like. Meanwhile, I'm getting these Yo-Yo Empire throws for 20 bucks that are pretty much dead smooth, and it's just crazy. And again, just because a yo-yo is designed in America doesn't mean it's made in America. You've got Yo-Yo Factory, you've got CLYW, who famously made their move to China. There's so many companies that are having their yo-yos designed in America, or designed in the States, or designed at least in the West, and then having Asian companies manufacture them. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, it doesn't really matter so much about the country anymore. I think it's about the quality of the company. I mean, and that just makes total sense, right? No matter what business you're talking about. When you have a company you trust, no matter where they're from, it doesn't matter where the company's situated. If they make good stuff, they make good stuff, and that's it, period. And that's why I like Yo-Yo Empire so much, is because they make really amazing stuff, and it's super, super cheap, and it looks really cool, and it plays amazing. If they're not my favorite company, they're in my top 3 for sure. I'm gonna sit down, my old bones, rest for a minute. Been on my feet too long. Now, at the same time, countries and companies that have been considered the forefront of manufacturing and design and stuff can also let their quality slip. Just because something is made in America, just because something is made in Japan, doesn't automatically mean it's good. Japan has a really, really high standard for quality and craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is one of like the oldest and most important ideals in Japanese manufacturing. A lot of times stuff will be more expensive because it's made locally and it's only made in that one place. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? It depends on what you think of that. For me, I think it's cool when you can go to a place and buy something that you could only get at that one place. I think that's a pretty cool thing. Now, at the same time, you're going to expect to pay more for that thing because, again, it's only local and it's made with incredible craftsmanship in mind. That's the same reason I like companies like Zipline, because Zipline Strings makes everything in-house, it's super crafted, and it's really, really high quality, and it's made by a human being, and I think that's cool. Whether Jeremy was in China, Japan, India, on the moon, it doesn't matter. He's a super cool guy, and he makes great stuff. He landed on me. Hi, little Bugly. But that's what I mean. It all should come down to what you feel about the company and who you can trust the most. It shouldn't come down to, well, I like, this company, but they're in China, so I don't know. Like, that just seems weird to me. And the idea that, like, I don't like the way that Chinese yo-yos feel. I don't like the way that Japanese yo-yos feel. You should just enjoy the thing for what it is, and it doesn't matter where it's from. The idea that you should not like something just based on where it's from, and a lot of times people don't buy or try new yo-yos even based on where they're from, I just feel like you're missing out so much. And like, even though machining is done in China, some of the best... Just because machining is done in China doesn't mean it's bad. Some of the best machine shops are in China right now. The OC, the Powered by G2 designed by R Throwers yo-yo, that thing is incredible. It's a great yo-yo. It's one of my top 3. It's super unique. It's super crazy feeling, really rounded, but it's like really performance based. It's an incredible yo-yo that's totally unique. And that was machined in China. And it's one of the top 3 smoothest yo-yos I've had. One of the top 3 smoothest yo-yos I've played ever. So the country, I don't think matters at all. I know I'm belaboring the point, but like, I feel like it needs to be made, and I need to make my position clear on it. All right, let's stretch the old legs again. I think it's gonna be hard, but it's up to yo-yo companies as well to sort of promote the idea that their yo-yos are really great, and they're gonna have to do that. It's like it's an uphill battle, because I know Magic Yo-Yo is still making really great stuff ever since the Skyva like completely changed the game on what people expect out of a plastic. I mean, a lot of them are very smooth, and I know there's always going to be people say like, yeah, it's not as smooth as everyone says it is, but it's smooth for a plastic, come on. Even if it vibes, it does a heck of a lot better than most plastic yo-yos, and definitely better than they used to be. And so it's going to be up to these companies, and Magic Yo-Yo has been doing a really, really hard job of it, putting out the Katana, putting out the Wolfgang, putting out, the Vapor Motion, the Metal Skyva, all these yo-yos that are like they're a little bit more premium, they're nicer, they're not like the $10, $20 yo-yos that you can get on Amazon. Now that's not to put those yo-yos down. The N12 is one of my favorite yo-yos ever. I've bought 2 of those and both of them were dead smooth. And it's crazy for 10 bucks. Like, come on, are you kidding me? The N8, the T5, the M002, the M001, pretty much every budget Magic yo-yo that I've gotten is dang smooth for being $10. So the idea that like people say, you get something cheap on Amazon, you get a Magic yo-yo, it's not gonna feel like a really, really nice expensive yo-yo, but it's still gonna be really good. And when you're looking at value to price, like, isn't that what you want? Is something that's worth the price you're paying for it. And when you get to that point, when you're thinking about price to value, like, you pretty much can't beat Magic Yo-Yo unless you're Yo-Yo Empire. It's up to companies like Magic Yo-Yo and Yo-Yo Empire and Yo-Yo Officer and Top Yo to change the game and make people think differently about what Chinese yo-yos can do, and I think they are doing that. Like I said, Magic Yo-Yo releases their premiums, Top Yo's had a bunch of stuff come out, collabs with other companies that exist in other countries. Yo-Yo Empire puts out tons of stuff, some of it more premium, some of it more experimental, plastics, metals, hybrids, bimetals, everything. Top Yo's all over the place doing all sorts of crazy different stuff, and it's awesome. Like, all their stuff is really different and unique looking. It seems like they got a new yo-yo coming out like every month or 2. Yo-Yo Officer I'm not so familiar with. I only have the Akari, but I haven't gotten to try a lot of their other stuff, but people swear by the Kilter and the Urban and yo-yos like that are like 30 bucks that are like really, really good, like competition good. And like I said, some of the premium throws that I've bought recently were made in China. Like the OC, which is an amazing yo-yo, manufactured in China. The Iceberg, manufactured in China. The Veritas Pro, manufactured in China. The Carpfin, manufactured in China. Despite the fact that all of these yo-yos were designed in different places. The Veritas Pro and the Iceberg were designed by iYoyo in Germany. The Carpfin was also designed in Munich, I believe. The OC was designed by R Throwers, so they're from all over the place. So it doesn't matter where it's designed, where it's machined is a huge thing as well. But the fact that people can put down a yo-yo or put down a whole country based on its machining quality when the game is so different than it used to be. Like, these yo-yos are coming out and they're really good. And when you tell people, yeah, this was made in China, to think that that person might not have tried the yo-yo because of where it was made in the first place, but then they end up really liking it, I think that's cool when you can try to change someone's mind. And that's what I hope that we can do in this next generation of yo-yos, because I don't know if we're at another yo-yo boom yet, but I definitely think that the internet is a good place and the community's at a good place where everybody's sharing things online. Instagram is blowing up with yo-yo stuff. It's really good to see more people in the hobby and communicating and stuff like that. I'm hoping we're going to see more people try more companies, and this whole idea of well, yeah, it's made in China, so don't expect quality. I hope that idea can go away, because I think it's patently incorrect. It's like a lot of people also talk about how, yeah, okay, the quality's great, but you can also feel that it's machined differently. And like, I don't even feel that myself. I've had some like yo-yos that were designed or that were machined in different places. Like, I think there's a certain line, like your one drops, those feel very different. But those don't just feel different from Chinese yo-yos or Japanese yo-yos, those feel different from everybody. And that's what I think makes one drop cool. Not that they're made in America, but that they're made differently and that they feel differently. You pick up a one drop and you know it's a one drop. You can tell right away. I don't think, oh, when I pick up the top deck, I don't think this is an American yo-yo. I think this is a one drop yo-yo. When I pick up a carp fin, I don't think, hey, this is made in China. I think this is one of my favorite yo-yos ever. Same thing with the Iceberry, the Veritas Pro, the OC. I don't pick them up and think, oh, American, Chinese, Japanese, Indonesian, Malaysian, whatever. I think this is a great yo-yo. And like, honestly, yeah, I'm not a pro. I'm not the best player in the world. I understand that. I'm never going to be a competition player. I'm not aiming to be that. But I am a person that has a lot of yo-yos. Now, whether or not I actually deserve that many yo-yos, that's up for debate because I'm not a very good player. If you want to stop me from buying a bunch of yo-yos, please tell my wife. I'm sure she'd agree with you. But the fact of the matter is I've got tons of yo-yos and I've gotten my hands on tons of different kind of yo-yos. At the recent JOYC competition, I even played with the titanium yo-yo. That was tons of fun. The Neutron, the Throw Revolution, that thing is really, really fun. So I've even gotten to try titanium yo-yos. Yeah, the anodization is different, or the hand feel is different, or the way the paint is put on is different, or something like that. And like, I don't think it feels that different. So if you don't want a yo-yo that feels different, then don't buy a Chinese yo-yo. Like, it's just silly, and it's a waste of time, and it's a waste of energy. Like, just buy the toy and have fun with it. I don't know, this really bugs me. The idea that something's not good based on where it's from, it just really bugs me. And especially when you're talking about toys, like when you get into this hobby and I see people on the Reddit talking about it a lot, some people may view it as a bit elitist, or they may view it as like really hard to get into. And when we get into these arguments about the minutia of where a yo-yo's made and how the hand feel is different because it was machined in China, like, I don't know if people actually know where things are machined. They just know where the yo-yo, they just know where the company said the yo-yo was machined. I've never tried a metal COYW in my life, so I don't know how good they are. They're too expensive in Japan. They're really expensive in Japan. But I wonder if they didn't tell people that they were machining in China, would people be able to tell the difference? As far as I know, they're still really, really good yo-yos. Like, who cares, right? It's a toy, have fun with it. And the last thing I kind of want to talk about, it's like, this I can understand a little bit better, is like the idea of brand loyalty, where you want to be loyal to the brand that represents your country, or you want to be loyal to the local brand. And I get that. At JOYC, there were a lot of companies that were there, and there were some companies that were, you know, there were companies that make their yo-yos in Japan. So you saw a lot of people throwing Japanese yo-yos. And that totally makes sense. Like I said, Japan is about quality and craftsmanship, and when you're there throwing in front of the company, you kind of want to show off their yo-yos and you want to show your pride in your country and what your country manufactures. I get that. So if you're an American player and you want to throw a one drop because you're like, well, I want to rep American companies, that's fine. But I just don't want people to choose a company based on, well, it's not a Chinese company. You know, it's weird. It's just, it's aggressive and it's negative and it doesn't help the hobby at all. Oh man. Sorry, I ranted a lot in this one. I don't know if any of that made sense, but it's something that just really, it gets stuck in my throat and it bothers me. So anyway, that might have been the most aggressive discussion I've ever done. Sorry if it came off as too mean. Also sorry if my voice is cracking. I'm just getting over a cold. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the Let's Talk About, please let me know in the comments. Like this video, share this video if you like. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. If you have any ideas for a discussion you'd like me to do in the future, you can let me know in the comments as well. Well, thank you so much. Take care. Have a nice evening, and sayonara.